I'm going to wait just a minute, see if anybody hops on. If you are on, welcome. If you have a blanket or a pillow or something that you can sit on, we're going to begin in a seated position. So it's always good to sort of lift your hips off the floor a little bit if you have something. If you don't, that's totally fine. So just find a comfortable seat, either cross-legged like this, just with your shins kind of stacked, or if it's more comfortable, you can always have your legs long, or even more, if it's comfortable for you to sit in a different pose, that's totally fine too. So whatever feels good for your body today. Yoga is all about honoring our bodies in the moment and where we are each day. So that may change each time you come to your mat. So find a comfortable seat and just begin to tune in to your breath and start to pay attention to your body and give yourself just this time to just be in this room, in this moment, and give yourself a little bit of love. So as you begin to notice your breath, we're not going to manipulate it very much. Just pay attention to the inhale and try to deepen the inhale and lengthen the exhale. And again, you're following your own rhythm, so don't try to match mine or try to manipulate it to a point of being uncomfortable. Just pay attention to your own rhythm. I learned in my training that we all have our own breath print, which I thought was a really neat concept. I had never heard that before, but basically just like our fingerprints are unique, we all have our own unique way of breathing. So it's important that we listen to our own bodies and pay attention to what feels best for you. So as you begin to breathe a little more consciously, pay attention to your posture. Notice if there's any areas that are achy or tense or any, uncomfortable spots in your body. And without judgment, just notice those areas. Maybe bring the breath into that area of your body. So expanding the belly, breathing into the rib cage and the low belly here on the inhale. And then softening and emptying the belly on the exhale. The exhale is also an opportunity to release any of that tension that you're feeling. So if you are noticing spots that are just a little more sticky or stiff or achy, maybe try to consciously imagine that tension leaving your body just through the floor, just dripping off of your shoulders or wherever it is that's feeling tense. That's where my tension is. We're entering into the period of cold and dark, and especially in the Midwest here, so we're experiencing more, tension, sometimes in our shoulders, and it's important to take care of those spots. So after your next exhale, just bring your hands gently to the sides of you, fingertips to the ground, and then turn the hands so the palms are facing up. Inhale the hands all the way up. Reach up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring the hands together and all the way down to your heart. Inhale the hands back up the body. Exhale, release to the sides. And we're going to do that again, but just one side this time. So left hand facing up towards the ceiling. Inhale the hand up. Reach, 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 and lengthen that side waist before slight bend to the right. So kind of just walking your right hand out towards the right. And really reaching with that left hand. So feeling the length along the left waist and ribs, but trying to maintain contact with your left hip on the ground there. Inhale back up and release to the side. And then turn the right palm up. Inhale all the way up to the ceiling. Reach. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And then walk the left hand over to your left. Really lengthening that side waist here. Inhale back up. Release to the floor. And then both palms facing up. Inhale. Touch the palms again, bring the hands to the heart, and then turn the fingertips away from the body. Draw the hands away from the chest, all the way out, rounding the shoulders just slightly so we can open up between the shoulder blades here. Inhale, open the hands all the way out to the sides. Really shine that sternum up towards the sky. Exhale, close the hands back up in front of you. Inhale, draw the hands back to the heart. And release back down to the sides. So we're going to move forward this time. So bringing the hands just in front of you. We're kind of doing a forward fold over our legs. So just as far as is comfortable for you, not, overdoing it here. This is our first forward fold of the day, so just gently drawing your hands forward. And you'll notice some areas of tension or areas that are maybe a little more sticky or uncomfortable. So notice those. Breathe into those areas. Good. Inhale and walk the hands back up. Bring the hands behind you, fingertips pointing away from the body, and just open the chest here. Keep breathing. And then bring the hands back in front and lean back slightly and untuck and retuck the opposite leg in front. So this is probably the less habitual leg that you cross over when you sit down in this position. So it might not feel as comfortable, but draw the hands forward again. So just walking forward, folding over the legs, bringing the head towards the floor. One side might feel easier than the other side. Just notice. Inhale and walk the hands back up. And then one more backward little arch here of the back. I don't want to say back bend, but reach back, fingertips away from the body and open up here. Just drawing the chin slightly up towards the sky. Imagine that you're on a warm beach and the sun is shining and that warmth is entering into your body. Good. Release the hands back to the knees. We're just going to do a few shoulder stretches and then we'll move to our hands and knees. So just start rolling the shoulders forward and up and back and down. So on the inhale, forward and up, back and down on the exhale. Follow your own rhythm of breath. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, back and down. 2 more times. And then when you come to stillness again, draw your chin towards your chest. So just letting the head fall forward, nice and gently. And then we're just going to slowly roll the ear towards the right shoulder to start. So feeling the stretch along the left side of the neck, just as far as is comfortable for you. We don't want to strain it or pull too hard on the neck here. And then release the chin down towards the collarbone, so your gaze is looking down at the floor next to you on the right. Inhale and face the face front. And then release down through center and over to the left. Feeling the length on the left side of, or the right side of the neck rather this time. Left ear to the left shoulder. And again, just release that chin towards the collarbone on the left side, looking down to the left of your body here. Notice if either side is harder or more tense or uncomfortable. Give some extra breath to that side. Inhale and bring the face front again. Exhale and release down. Before you lift your head, just leave it here for one moment. Release the hands to the palms to your forehead. And just allow the tension between your palms and your forehead to resist each other. So push the head into the hands, push the hands against the forehead. And then release that resistance and use the hands to bring your head back up. And then bring the hands to the back of the head. Same thing here. So elbows are bent, hands are in the back of the head. Resist with your head. So you're pushing your head into your hands, pushing your hands against your head. Not hard. You don't want to be hurting yourself, but just creating a small resistance here. A little bit of traction in your neck here. And bring the thumbs to the base of the skull and just draw the head up. So just pulling slightly upward on the back of the skull here. Again, creating some space in the back of the neck. Keep breathing. And release the hands back down. All right, we're going to come into table pose, hands and knees. If it's more comfortable for you to pad your knees, you can use a blanket to pad your knees here. So your knees should be directly under your hips, your hands are directly under your shoulders, nice 90-degree angle here. And we're just going to do cat-cow. So exhale and empty the belly and arch the back up. Shoulder blades reaching up towards the sky. Gazing down between your knees. Your feet should be right behind your knees. Inhale and melt the chest towards the floor, arching the back just slightly. Exhale, arching the back up towards the sky, pushing away with your hands to the floor. Inhale, melting the chest towards the floor. One more cat pose, arching the back, exhale, emptying the belly, and then come back to table pose, and just bring your right foot back, keeping the ball of the foot on the floor. So we're just going to begin to kind of pedal out the hamstrings a little bit, starting to stretch them, getting prepared for our first downward dog. So just kind of rocking back and forth on the ball of the foot, if that's comfortable, or just remain still. Just feel that stretch in the bottom of your foot, the back of your leg, calf, the hamstrings, the glutes. And then if this is enough for you, just stay here. If you want to go a little further, begin to balance a little bit more on the left leg and bring your right foot up off the ground. So toes pointing towards the floor. Lengthening through the heel here. And then release the leg back down. Bring the left ball of the foot back along the floor. And again, you can either move back and forth on the ball of your foot or just stay still, just stretching the back of the leg out here. And when you're ready, bring the balance into your right leg. Lift the left leg up, parallel to the floor, toes pointing down towards the floor, reaching out through the heel of the left foot. Keep breathing. And release back down. Okay, and then bring your hands just slightly in front of the shoulders here, and we're just bringing the hips back into your upward diagonal, so not all the way to your feet or your heels, but just creating sort of what we call a half dog. So our downward dog is with our legs straight. This is just a half dog. So this is a great alternative for downward dog if this is more comfortable for you. Just really stretching out the shoulders and the back, the upper back and the low back here. And then come slightly forward, bring the big toes to touch, and we'll go all the way back into child's pose this time. So hips come all the way back towards the heels as best you can. Head comes down to the floor or towards the floor. If it's more comfortable to put a blanket or a pillow underneath your head, that's fine too. And then before we come out of child's pose, we're just going to walk our hands over to the right to start, reaching out with the left hand here. And then back to center. And coming over to the left, reaching out with the right hand here. Creating space in the left or the right side of the body. And then walk the hands back to center. Come back up to table pose. And we're going to make our way into downward facing dog. So tuck the toes under. Bring the hands a little forward of your shoulders here. So one or two hand lengths ahead of you. And then just lift the hips, keep the knees bent to start. Bring the chest towards the thighs here. And just like when we were in table pose, if it's comfortable for you to pedal out the legs to create more space in the hamstrings, feel free to do that. Or if it feels good to move your hips back and forth. Whatever feels best for you in this moment. One more breath here. And on your exhale, go ahead and bring your feet up towards your hands. So walk your feet forward. Come all the way into standing forward bend here. So head releases down towards the floor. Belly comes towards the thighs. Again, you can keep a bend in the knees if it's more comfortable. We're still warming up the hamstrings here. So hands towards the floor, to the floor. Most importantly, release the head. So maybe shake the head no. Nod the head yes. Let go of any tension that you're carrying, any worries or doubts.
Just let it all melt into the floor. And then when you're ready, we're just slowly rolling up to standing here. So allow the head to arrive last, and we'll arrive in mountain pose. Take a moment to check in. Find the midpoint of your feet here. Feel the grounding of the outer leg line, lifting of the upper leg line, or the inner leg line, excuse me. Bring the navel to the spine. Balance the pelvis here. Hug in on the hips. Roll the shoulders back and open. Lifting the chin just slightly. Fingertips are pointing towards the floor. Just notice the strength and stability of mountain pose. Mountain pose is a foundational pose that guides us through the rest of our practice here. When you're ready, inhale the hands all the way up to the sky, reaching up, lengthening, maybe gazing upward, reaching the hands slightly back. Exhale, look forward, and then bring the hands down, sweep all the way down to standing forward bend again. Inhale, bring the hands to a halfway lift here, so up to the shins or the thighs, whatever's best for you to create a flat back. Release to standing forward bend. And then hands flat to the floor and back to downward facing dog. Okay, this time we're going to bring the right foot forward between the hands. If you have a hard time getting it all the way up there, just reach your arm back and bring your foot forward here. Release the left knee to the floor, untuck the toes, and begin to stretch out that left thigh here. So you may want to come up on your fingertips. If you have blocks available and you want to use those, that's fine. And then we'll just bring the hands up to the right knee and reaching out through the crown of the head, so creating a nice long line here with your spine. Feeling the stretch here. If this is enough for you, stay here. If you want to go a little bit further, bring your hands to your sides and sweep them all the way up overhead. Lengthening up towards the sky. And release back to your knee. Release back down to the ground. Untuck the toes in the back. Lift up here. And then bring the right foot back to meet the left. Back into downward facing dog. Inhale and come forward. Bring the left foot forward in between your hands. Release the right knee down. Untuck the right foot. And then release the hands to the left knee this time. So broad chest, open shoulders. And again, if this is better for you, stay here. If you want to go further, you can release the hands and bring them all the way up above. Reaching, maybe gazing upward, maybe not. Release the hands back down. Release down to the floor. Untuck the toes. Lift the right knee and then bring the left foot back to meet the right. And downward facing dog. All right, go ahead and step forward again into standing forward bend. So bring your feet up to meet your hands. Release your hands to the floor, towards the floor. Release your head down. Halfway lift, so hands to the shins or thighs. Create a flat back here, parallel with the ground. Release down to standing forward bend. And then bring the hands to the hips, elbows facing up, and begin to come all the way up to mountain pose again. Release the hands to the sides. Inhale, bring the hands all the way up above the head. Palms touch. Release the hands, and before you bring them down, grab your left arm with your right hand, or your left wrist with your right hand. So hold on to the left wrist with your right hand and bring your body slightly to the right. So we're just doing a side bend here and standing. So you're not yanking on your left arm, but you're just drawing the left hand over to the right. Inhale and come back up. Release that hand, maybe shake it out. And then come back up. Grab the right wrist with the left hand and draw the right arm towards the left. So really stretching out the hips here, the right side body, the ribs. Just giving our body all the space in the world. Inhale back up, release both hands down to the sides. Stand in mountain pose. Inhale the hands back up, prayer hands. Bring them down to your chest. Release the hands all the way down into standing forward bend. Halfway lift. Hands to the shins. And then release down into standing forward bend again. Palms flat to the floor and step back to downward dog. So drawing the chest towards the thighs here, lengthening through the arms and the wrists, lengthening through the hamstrings, reaching the heels toward the floor. Bring your gaze forward towards your hands and release the knees down into a plank here. And then we're going to bring our body all the way down to our bellies. So try to just bend the elbows and bring the body down. And then release the chest and shoulders up into low cobra. So just pushing up, keeping the navel to the spine, and then release down to the floor. Before we get back up, bring your hands in front of your head, in front of your face, and pillow your hands on the floor here. Hopefully you can see me. And then release the forehead to the hands. And just allow yourself to breathe here. Notice the contact that your ribs are making with the floor. Notice the breath going into your belly, expanding here. Softening on the exhale. And then on your next exhale, lift your head and bring your hands just slightly in front of you. So your elbows should be under your shoulders. Your palms are flat to the floor. This is Sphinx Pose. So you're lifting the chest just like you did in low cobra. And this time we're going to look over the shoulders if it's comfortable. So look over to the left. towards your left heel. And then back to center. Look over to the right, towards your right heel. And then back to center. Release back down to your belly. Bring your hands to your sides of your ribs and lift your chest, shoulders, and hips at the same time if you can. Back up to table pose and then back into downward facing dog. Walk your feet forward into standing forward bend again. Release the head, release the chin, the jaw, and the soft palate. Shake your head no. Nod your head yes. Release all the tension. Actually, let's hold on to opposite elbows here and just really let yourself fall into a forward fold here. Really allow yourself to stretch out the back body here. Maybe rock back and forth if that's comfortable. Kind of like a rag doll here. Release the hands. Bring your hands to your hips, elbows pointing up, and inhale up to mountain pose again. So inhale, palms touch, exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Pause here for a moment and notice. Open the eyes and release the hands. We're going to come to face the long edge of your mat. So in this case, it's the left side of my mat, but whatever side you're on. So we're pointing our toes towards the long edge of our mat here. And you can just bring your hands to your hips to start. We're going to pivot the right foot so that the right toes are pointing towards the short edge of the mat. So we're keeping the hips square to the long edge here, and pointing the right knee towards that short edge of the mat. So keeping your hands on your hips to start, just get your feet situated. So we're bending the right knee, lengthening out through the left thigh. And then when you're ready, draw your hands up, palms facing up first to start. So your hands are parallel to the floor, arms are parallel. Flip the palms so they're facing down and then gazing over the right hand. This is called Warrior Two. So really imagining a warrior pose here, warrior position, the power of the pose. Release the left hand to the left thigh and draw the right hand up and overhead into reverse warrior. And then back to Warrior Two. Bend the right elbow and bring the right forearm to the right thigh, and then bring the left arm up and overhead, maybe gazing upward above your left hand or left arm here, or keeping your head straight if you have any neck issues that might be more comfortable. Inhale, bring that left hand up again, back into Warrior Two. Hands back to the hips, straighten the right leg, and we're going to move into triangle pose this time. So with the straight leg, bring your right hand forward, palm facing away from the body, and really reach forward before folding over. So reach, 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 lengthen, lengthen, and then fold over the left leg. So maybe bringing your hand to your calf here, maybe even higher, whatever's best for your body.
And then release the left hand so our fingertips are pointing up towards the ceiling here. Drawing a nice line between the right and left hand. Triangle pose. Bend that right leg. Reach back up with the left hand. Back into warrior two. Straighten that leg and pivot again so we're facing the long edge of the mat. We're going to do a forward fold in our wide angle stance here. So keeping the feet wide, just begin to bend over the legs. Bring your hands towards the floor if you can. I don't know if anybody has blocks at home, but if you do, you can always use a block here if the floor feels far away on whatever height is comfortable for you. So we're just drawing our body forward again, just like when our feet are together. And your hands can be in front of you, in front of your face, or if you have the ability to bring them by your feet. And then bend the right leg and just slight stretch here towards the right, keeping the hands where they are. Straighten the right leg, bend the left leg. Straighten the left leg. Bring the hands to the hips. And all the way back up again. So this time we're going to do the warrior sequence on the left. So pivot on the left foot, left toes facing the short edge of the mat, and then bend into that left leg. So again, our hips are as square as we can get them towards the long edge. And then when you're ready, bring the palms facing up towards the sky first. And then turn the palms facing the floor. Gaze over that left hand. Warrior two. Still breathing. And then right hand to the right thigh, left hand overhead, reverse warrior, maybe gazing upward if it's comfortable. Back to warrior two, bend that left arm to the left thigh, and then right arm reaches up and overhead. Extended side angle, reaching up with the right arm back into warrior two, back into reverse warrior. Straighten that left leg, bring the right hand to the right hip. Reach forward with the left palms. The left palm is facing away from you. Reach forward as far as you can go. Reach, and then fold over the left leg. And again, you can use a block here if it's more comfortable, holding on to your calf or your ankle. And then bringing the right arm up overhead. Triangle pose. Bend the left leg, bring the right arm back and over to warrior two again, hands to the hips, and then walk the feet back together. Pause here in mountain pose, so bring the hands up, reach up with the fingertips, palms together. Bring the hands to the heart and breathe. Release the tongue and the jaw here. Let go of the tension. Open the eyes, and I'm going to turn back over to the short edge of the mat here. Before we sit down and roll to our back, actually I'm going to stay this way, but you can turn if you were still on your long edge. I want to do a tree pose today, so we'll just do a balance pose. So find whichever direction that you're facing in your room, find a spot that, like an object or something that is not moving, and that'll be what's called the drishti, so that's your point of focus to stay balanced. So just begin to feel your feet. We're going to do the right leg up first, so find your balance with your left foot, begin to ground that foot into the floor, and then just kind of take the weight out of your right foot, and you can start just by bringing your right foot to your left ankle, and you're welcome to be, by a wall and hold on to the wall as well. And you can bring your right foot to your left calf if that's more comfortable. Just avoid the knee joint here in the left leg. So if you have the range of motion and you want to bring your foot to your left thigh, you're pushing the foot into the thigh, pushing the thigh against the foot here. So just opening up, hands to the hips to start. If you want to go further with the hands, you can bring them to your heart. Stay focused for balance. If you want to go even further, you can bring the hands up above the head. And even further, you can grow your tree, so opening the hands up here. Keep breathing. Keep focused. Good. Hands back down. Bring the leg forward and back down, the right leg. And then we're going to do that on the left side too. So maybe shake out the legs a little bit. I was doing that anyway. And then just begin to ground the right foot in now. Release the left foot. Maybe bring it to your ankle here or your calf, or you can bring it all the way up to your thigh. Pick your focal point. Hands to the hips, or you can bring your hands to your heart. Keep breathing. Furthermore, you can bring your hands above your head, and you can open your hands as well. And then release the hands back down. Bring your left leg forward and down. Shake them out again. All right, we're going to make our way back to our mats on the floor. So I'm just going to come up to the top of my mat, and we're just going to, not in any fancy way, just come back down to seated to start. So keeping the feet flat on the floor, we're going to do just kind of a modified boat pose here. So you can bring your hands to the front of your knees or to the thighs, whatever's more comfortable for you. Just begin to lift one of your legs up and straighten as best you can. And then release. Bring the other leg up. Push away with the heel here. And then release. If you want to go further, you can bring both legs up, or you can just continue to alternate your legs. So right leg up and back down, left leg up. This is a good core work here. Right leg up, back down, or both together. If you want to be even further, you can release your hands out to the sides. And then release the feet down. And then we're just going to roll down to your back. So try to roll one vertebra down at a time, nice and slow, keeping the core engaged. Knees bent, so feet are flat on the floor. Just bring your hands to your low belly and connect to your breath here. And then draw your right knee into your chest. Hug the right knee with your hands. Release the knee and bring your right ankle to your left knee, and then draw your left knee into the chest. Keep breathing. Feel the stretch through your glute and your right thigh here. And then release the left foot down. Before you take your right ankle off of your left leg, just bring your left knee towards the left side here on the floor. So your right foot is actually flat on the floor on the left side. So we're just twisting slightly here. Your ankle is still crossed over your left knee. Inhale, bring the legs back up and release the right foot down. Hug the left knee into the chest. Notice if you're holding any tension in your teeth, in your jaw, your tongue. Try to release. And then bring your left ankle to your right knee and bring your right knee into your chest. You may notice one side is easier than the other, or more sticky. And then release the right foot back down and let your right knee fall to your right side. Your left foot flat on the floor on your right side here. Slight twist. Inhale the legs back up, release the foot back down. Okay, let's just release rock the knees back and forth. Windshield wiper your legs back and forth. And then back up to center. We're going to roll over to the left side first here. Bring your knees up towards your chest so they're at a 90-degree angle. And then your hands are out in front of you. I don't know if you can see that from there. So your hands are directly in front of your shoulders, out in front of you on the floor. Your head can be rested down to the floor, or if you need to put a blanket underneath it if that's more comfortable. Inhale and bring the right arm up overhead and then release behind you. And of course I'm too close to the wall to do it properly, but you're bringing your right hand to the floor, so the back of the hand is touching the floor behind you. And just open up in the chest here. Keep breathing. Notice if there's any sticky parts or tension that we're holding on to still. Inhale the hand back up. Exhale back together with the other hand. And then bend the elbows and roll to your back. And then roll to your right side. Same thing here. So hands out in front of you. Knees at a 90-degree angle with your hips. Inhale the left hand up. Exhale the left hand towards the floor. So if it doesn't touch the floor, that's okay, but we're just moving in that direction. Opening the up and allowing gravity to take our arm out in order to create that space in our chest. Inhale the left hand up, exhale together with the right, and then roll back to your back again. All right, so we're just going to do a bridge for our final pose here. Bring your palms to the ground, flat on the floor. Feet hips distance apart, and begin to lift the hips up into bridge pose. Exhale and release. Take a moment and then bring the knees into the chest together. Hug in. Maybe rock back and forth and massage out that low back. And then maybe do some circles here, so knees together. And then reverse that circle, just massaging out the sacrum. And release the legs, and we're going to set up for Shavasana. So Shavasana is our final resting pose. Whatever is comfortable for you. Maybe with a pillow under your head. You can also put a pillow, or if you have a yoga bolster, you can put that underneath your knees. So just find your comfortable position, and you might want to cover up if it's chilly. You can put on a sweatshirt or whatever's comfortable for you. Just make yourself nice and comfortable and at ease. So Shavasana is our final pose to sort of indulge in all the work that we did. So the purpose is to get to a point where we're able to have a deeper relaxation because we were able to work our body and our muscles and everything. So this is your opportunity to really take some time to just be for a few moments. So once you get comfortable, just begin to feel your body release into the floor. So notice your breath softening. Release your toes and your feet, the tops of your feet, the arches, your ankles. Feel all the tension melt away. Relax your shins and your calves, your kneecaps. Relax your thighs. Relax your hips and your pelvis. Relax your belly, your low back, your ribs. Feel all the tension melt away. Relax your chest and your shoulders. Relax your upper arms and your elbows, your forearms. Release your wrists, the palms of your hands, all your fingers. Release your throat and your neck, your jaw, your chin. Relax the facial muscles, the ears. Relax the eyes and the forehead. Feel the skin on the scalp release into the floor, melting into the floor, any tension. Just allow yourself this moment to be. Slowly begin to work your way back into the room. Deepen your breath. Maybe wiggle your fingers and toes. Remember this feeling, all this hard work that you just did, your body's alignment and well-being. Try to carry this with you through the weekend. Maybe the next couple weeks are going to be busy for you. Maybe there's some things that you're feeling not so sure about. Remember that you can always return to this feeling even when you're not on your mat. Roll over to your comfortable side. Take a couple breaths here. And when you're ready, go ahead and push up to seated. Try to keep your head relaxed. Bring your hands to your sides. Turn your palms up. Inhale the hands all the way up above the head. Touch the palms and bring your prayer hands towards your heart. Imagine that the fingertips are pointing away from the heart and creating light shining out from your heart and offering to those around you or the world. Lower your head to meet your heart. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Be well, stay safe. Thank you.